Ooh. Um. This is tough, actually. So there's four cards that immediately stick out to me. The Rhizome Lurcher, the Deadweight, the Blood Operative, and the Conclave Guildmage are the ones that immediately come to mind here. The Blood Operative is fine, going on good with the heavy sources of Surveil. He is a value card. You just keep generating him. He's hard to deal with. If you're playing other control decks, he's actually an annoying body. If you're playing aggro decks, he often trades in lifelinks, and then once you've stabilized, you can bring him back and do it again. The Conclave Guildmage is pretty critical to Selesnya. I think that's too much. That's a little bit too much. Conclave Guildmage is probably the second to worst Guildmage, maybe the worst Guildmage of the Guildmages, but Guildmages are quite good. Gives them a mid-game mana sink, which is nice. Deadweight is cheap, awesome removal, and Rhizome Lurcher is a payoff card in Golgari. One of the cards you definitely want if you're in Golgari, but I think it's too much of a commitment. I think this card requires a bunch of Surveil to be good. I don't mind it, but I'm not super excited by it right now. This card is also too much of a commitment. Pick one, and this card is probably not good enough, even if you're thinking about that. I'm on the Deadweight plan. Leaves us open to Dimir, leaves us open to Golgari. Cheap, good removal that you're going to play pretty much every time. You're never going to cut Deadweights from your deck. We've played up to 4 and had a good run with them. So I think it's going to be Deadweight here. All right. Caster Sphere. I don't like this card. There's a lot of ways in Ravnica to take advantage of creatures who are tapped, either by removing the enchantment, by sacrificing them to Severed Strands like we did last game, or by eating them with something like a Necrolisk. It's just not a card I'm very excited about. So I'm on the Deadweight plan. All right, pick 2. Nice. We might actually get a Golgari deck out of this. So Bounty of Might is a win condition. Affectionate Indrik is super high value green card. Kills something when it enters play a lot of the time. And Golgari Finebroker is absolutely disgustingly powerful. Prey Upon's quite good here. Burglar Rat is fine. What are we doing here? Oh yeah, and Plaguecrafter. Forgot about Plaguecrafter's another one for that. What do you guys want here? Bounty of Might, Indrik, or Finebroker? Those are the 3 most powerful cards here. Bounty of Might is kind of like a surprise I win, but not necessarily a good card. It's not going to wheel. Finebroker is really good, high value, but it 2-for-1s at a slower rate than Affectionate Indrik. Affectionate Indrik can kill a creature that you absolutely need to kill. It's kind of a really hard pick here, and I don't know. I'm kind of curious. Let's see. I like Finebroker. I like Finebroker too, but I'm not. I actually think, I think the Finebroker is probably the weakest of the 3. I think it's probably between Bounty of Might and Indrik, leaning towards Indrik right now. There's a fair point. Indrik is splashable if we go Dimir. Golgari Finebroker isn't. Bounty of Might really isn't. It's not that I was thinking about so much, although that's certainly worth thinking about. It's more along the power level of this. Yeah, I don't need a rare. A rare doesn't mean a lot right now. Indrik's the cutest. That's a point in that side. I want all 3, don't get me wrong. I like Bounty of Might as a surprise I win card, but sometimes it's just a I win more card. It does blow stuff out if you ever get good blocks on it, but Indrik is so good. Indrik's just a 2-for-1 99% of the time. Red Oak Studios on the Indrik? Yeah, I'm that way too, I think. All right. Let's grab the Indrik. Close call. Lots of decision points there. All right, we got a couple cards here that stick out. The first of these is Hired Poisoner. Second is Lotleth Giant. And third is Child of Night. Lotleth Giant is kind of not a win more. It's not a bad Golgari win condition, honestly. Like, it does like 5 damage and puts a big body in play, but it's very slow and very clunky. Hired Poisoner, very good for building up Graveyard, which is what you want in a Golgari deck. Also good in Dimir, where I probably am not so excited about the Lotless Giant. Excuse me. And then the Child of Night is a similar thing. It's a body on the board, trades early, dies early, builds up your graveyard. We want a Poisoner ahead of Lotleth Giant. We do need payoffs. If we're going to build graveyards, we need reasons to do it. Both of these are black cards. I suppose this is a little bit more open to Dimir still. If I'd taken Bounty Child tonight would be an easy pick. I don't know about that. Giant. It's between Giant and Poisoner, I think, if I narrow that down. I like the Poisoner. I think it's a fine card. Let's grab that. We might regret not having the other one, but we'll see. All right. This is an interesting turn here. I haven't really been paying attention as I should be. A little hungover this morning, but haven't really been paying attention as to what we've been passing. We should have been thinking about that. So the best card in this pack by about a million miles is the League Guildmage. The second best card in here is the Smeltward Minotaur, and then the Goblin Electromancer. All of those are really solid. The Siege Worm is something we could play, but it's not super exciting, and the Painter's really bad. Painter's just a bad card. Even with heavy graveyard, it's still not a very good card. So we're pretty far from playing the Guildmage or the Electromancer, but it might be worth throwing a pick that way. We're not necessarily in green yet. Not necessarily in any color yet. So we don't have to go for the Siege Worm just because it's the best card in green-black. We have a lot of open options here. These cards aren't particularly splashable. I mean, you can splash for deadweight. It's an okay card in the mid game. It's just better if you can play it on tempo when you get it as well. The Indrik is splashable, although I don't know that I would want to splash in an Izzet deck. I think Izzet suffers the most from splashing because its mana curve requires consistent to drop blue and red for things like Guildmage and Electromancers, so it's a little bit less exciting in like an Izzet deck for me. But we could go we could grab a League Guildmage and say we're speculating on Izzet. Red, green, and red, black aren't archetypes here, so it's not like the Smeltward Minotaur is a safer pick. It's pretty much just as unsafe. And we could take the Siege Worm. Siege Worm's okay, man. 5/5 Trampler is okay for us. 1 or 2 bodies on the board. It's like big dudes is kind of what you want. I'm between League Guildmage and Siege Worm, and I don't think there's a world in which our first 3 picks are this, but I guess the most open pick is the Guildmage, huh? All right. Let's see what comes back. The Worm is replaceable. It's better in a Selesnya deck than it is a Golgari deck. It's decent, but not amazing. It's replaceable. Let's see what comes next. All right, Might of the Masses, Notion Rain, Urban Utopia, Selective Snare. I think the Might of the Masses is the best card here. Selective Snare is playable. Notion Rain is quite good. We're not very close to blue-black, though. So I'm probably on the Might of the Masses plan. Again, another decision point. If we try to end up Dimir, then Notion Rain is going to be very good. Okay. Next pick. There is a Golgari Guildgate and a Whisper Agent, both of which would be fine in Golgari. And then there's a Goblin Electromancer if we are potentially on the Guildmage plan, on the Izzet plan. This is a fairly late Electromancer. They're fairly powerful in that deck. I don't want to keep giving up good cards. Whisper Agent is just fine in Golgari. It's a creature that almost always dies rapidly, often while getting value. So it builds your graveyard, has an ETB that's quite useful. It's player castable. Don't have much in the way of an indication of where we're at yet. Yes, we drafted predominantly green and black cards right now, but it doesn't actually mean anything. The highest power level card in our deck right now is the League Guildmage, and probably the Affectionate Indrik. They're probably roughly similar in power, although Deadweight's quite good too. I think I'm on the Whisper Agent plan over the Electromancer, but this is now the... I mean, it's only been 2 packs of Izzet. What are we seeing? Go on the Whisper Agent plan. All right, what's next? Sonic Assault, Wild Ceratok, Renandi's Shieldmate. I don't like these cards at all. Although, I mean, it builds graveyard. It's just a fairly unexciting body. A lot of white cards. There's a Glaive of the Guild pack, which I like in Golgari, but we have no gates yet. Could speculate on the Sonic Assault if we go that route. Leaves us open. Let's take the Sonic Assault. Close though. Dimir Guildgate. Unexplained Disappearance, Disdainful Stroke, Wild Ceratok. This is a bit more of a decision. I would play a Disdainful Stroke, a Maximize Altitude, or an Unexplained Disappearance in a Is It deck, and not even be that upset about it. Particularly Unexplained Disappearance, I'd be pretty pleased about. Ceratok's a pretty weak creature and fairly replaceable. We're not very close to gate. All the cards we picked up, well, that's not true. We could potentially be near gate. But I think the weakest deck that we could create out of these right now, the card that uses the least amount of good cards for us, is just the pure blue-black deck. The pure blue-black deck looks like that. These 3 cards only. And that's just not very strong. The strongest cards we have are all left on the left-hand side here, right? The Indrik, the Might of the Masses, the League Guild Mage are all very strong. I mean, this card is fine. This card is fine. This card, Deadweight's a little bit better than fine. It's quite good. But if we are going to be speculating on what colors we are, and we're very open right now, I don't want to speculate on the weakest color from the next pick here. When this will play in blue-red or blue-black, fine. This will play in blue-red or blue-black, fine. This you can run in Dimir. It's not very exciting in Dimir. And this I can run in Golgari. So for me, it's between the Unexplained Disappearance and the Disdainful Stroke. And probably on the Unexplained Disappearance turn plan here. Let's grab that and see. All right. Still wide open. There's another Whisper Agent. There's an Is It Guildgate. I'm okay with the Whisper Agent. This is pack 9. So this is our first pack that wheeled. Not surprised to see Swathcutter is still in it. Not a very good card. We're getting pretty far away from green with another blue-black pick, though. Is It Guildgate is really solid if we go into Is It. Probably better than a second Whisper Agent. I don't actually like Whisper Agents all that much in Is It. They did fix the drafting bots, yeah. So for me, it's between Guildgate and Whisper Agent. Let's take the Guildgate. I mean, Whisper Agent again. No, it's not. This is still Golgari themed too. All right, fine. Take the Whisper Agent. This pack, Vapors, Maximize Altitude, Ceratok, and Veiled Shade. Veiled Shade's playable in both. Let's grab it. Painter is nearly unplayable. Portcullis Vine, pretty unexciting.
You have
Sure Strike.
returned.
And we have no idea at the end of pack 1 what colors are in. Hey to you, Gruntwork. Thanks for the resub, man. Grab the Painter, hope not to play it. Grab the Utopia, so we have no idea what colors we're in. We'll grab the Uncommon, hope not to play it. And we'll grab the Torch Courier. And we'll make some decisions based on pack 2 here. So, yeah, about this pack 2. So the strongest card in the pack is probably the Justice Strike. The Gatekeeper Gargoyle is okay. The Watcher in the Mist is quite good. The risk factor is decent in a burn-oriented Is It deck or a Boros deck, but not great. I very much overrated risk factor when I initially saw that card. So let's see. Nice costume, a soulless mutant. Nice. All right, so we're pretty far from green right now, which is too bad because we did pay fairly early picks on this, but we're not very close to this right now. Our deck is pushing us further and further away from green-black. This pick is also pushing us away from green-black. The strongest cards in the pack are red, white, and blue, which really doesn't help with this. Strands isn't somewhere I want to be this early of a pick. We don't have any creatures that synergize with that. It's just whatever. This card and this card are cards I prefer not to play. And Hired Poisoner I'm indifferent about. So if I pulled this out of my deck, which I'd prefer to do, that card's not really there right now. We have kind of mediocre green cards here. Some decent blue-black, but not great. I'm pushing myself towards Is It. I prefer Is It, honestly, compared to a another color set of colors here. Justice Strike's splashable, but it's not very exciting. Could take Watcher. Watcher's okay in a blue-black. If we end up that way, it's okay, but not great in blue-red. Don't love risk factor. Yeah, tough pick. Tough pick. Our deck is not looking particularly aggro. We can Can you imagine how funny it'd be to lead Guildmage a risk factor, though? You're like, yeah, would you like to take 8? Or would you like to give me 8 cards? 6 cards, even. Yeah, probably on the Watcher plan. Alright, let's grab Watcher and see. Alright, not a very exciting pick for us there. Oh, good. Now we're pushed back straight to fucking Golgari. There is an Electromancer in here, which is a totally fine pick. The Hatchery Spider is kind of a bomb right now if we end up playing it. What does this look like? So we pull out our red cards. Pull out our blue cards. Could we possibly be still in green-black? We need to at some point make a decision here. It's a pretty low number of playables. Hatchery Spider is ridiculous, though. Although you need a number of green cards to make it work. Like a real high number of green cards. Electromancer's good, chat. It's really where you want to be for Is It. I think it's a better card than the Hatchery Spider in general, too. Yeah, very difficult draft to figure out for me, Smitty. Like, we keep going back and forth on what we're getting offered. I think I'm on the Electromancer plan. I'd like to play this card at some point. I'd like to play Golgari, but I'm not being given green cards. This is the first green card we've seen, and it's going the opposite direction since we saw the Affectionate Indrik on pick 2. So I'm probably on the Electromancer plan. Immediately punished. Bunch of fucking Golgari cards and then a white card. Yeah, about that. Very unexciting pack for us. Waves playable, Punches sometimes playable. Dimir Guildgate's playable if we end up blue-black. Maybe we end up splashing black. So blue-red splashing black, in which case the Guildgate's okay too. Circuitous Route would let us play lots of different colors, but the Molder Hulk is a weak payoff card for Golgari. It's like a much worse lurcher most of the time. Yep. This is going as good as your drafts. Sorry. I am releasing a drafting guide today. I wonder if it's out already. Let me see if I can find a link to it. But I had a much easier draft for the drafting guide one.
Hey guys, FilthyRobot here.
Oops, ignore that for a second.
Channel, this
That's
time
me
for
going to my own
October
page.
28th.
Quiet, Filthy. We're talking here. All right.
Yeah.
All right. 10 minutes. 10 minutes. The drafting guide will come out. So what are we going to do about this pick, chat? I probably have it in the wrong mode for you guys, too. So, we're not very close to Golgari. The Golgari card of Molder Hulk is very unexciting. Punch is potentially where we want to be. It is a jumpstart card. Jumpstart is very important to Is It. The more I play it, the more important it is to have jumpstart cards, especially draw cards and jumpstart cards. So, I don't know. We picked a lot of picks in here, but they're not great. I think I'm on the Dimir Guildgate plan. I'm a bit worried that we're not going to have enough playables, and I can, if I get like even like 1 or 2 pieces of removal in black that I maybe can splash, maybe we'll do that. So let's grab the Guildgate. I don't think the other cards are good enough to care about, and Punch is not that great either. All right, next pick. Another Electromancer, another Sonic Assault. Donna Hope is by far the strongest card in this pack. It's a great card, takes over draft games. The Dissident is fine for green-black, trades early, a little bit later. Actually is a mana sink. It's pretty good. But we're looking further and further away from green-black to me. And we're getting far enough along that I want to commit to colors as soon as I can. Losing these cards isn't that big of a deal. I might have to lose that card. It's a little bit more of a big of a deal, but still not massive. So we're looking at this as a curve right now. But only like 8 playables. 9 playables. 8 playables. I think I'm on Electromancer number 2. So let's grab that. Feels bad to see this white, the good white cards flowing this way, but we're nowhere near white. It's the only card, it's the only color we weren't even close to. So I'll take the Electromancer. Status Statue. I mean, it's by far the best card. There's no red-blue cards in this entire pack except the Is It Locket. Every time we pick, man, it's just like right back to the other color. Feels bad. It feels real bad. All right. I'm not taking a lock. I mean, we might play a Locket in a deck like this, honestly, but I really don't want to pick it right now. We're nowhere near green-black at this point, right? We just don't have the playables for it. So maybe now is the time to just give up on the Golgari dream. Although I can blue-black splash green for that and be comfortable with that. And I could splash for an Indrik too. Fuck. Alright. We don't know. We still don't know. Alright. Let's grab the status statue. Flower Flourish. Not very exciting. Selesnya Guildgate. Not very exciting. Gateway Plaza looking like it might be exciting. There's a Rosemane Centaur. Good white cards coming this direction. But Rebel Belt Boar is playable if we end up in Izzet. It's totally fine. The Wall of Mist is playable in Izzet or Dimir. We're looking like a slower Izzet deck. I don't really like this card in Izzet. And then Gateway Plaza allows me to splash a little bit. Well, you say that, chat, but we're right now... Alright, what was a blue-black deck look like this? That's our blue-black deck right now. Splashing Indrik and Status Statue. Yeah, we've got a ton of picks left for sure. And I'm not super excited about Gateway Plaza, and I'm still not decided what colors we are. So I think the Boar is a playable card in red. Four-color deck doesn't sound great to me. Although we might end up having to just for strength. If we're red-blue, we could even be red-blue splashing green. It's a little bit hard to do. But we could. Plaza versus Boar. Slow, very slow fixing on Plaza. Or the Boar. Boar is fairly unexciting with this deck. Alright, let's speculate on the mana fixing. What do you guys think? Boros, this is the strongest card in the pack. That's the second strongest card. And this player got a card I can play in Izzet though, so that at least is good. Let's grab the Inescapable Blaze. I don't believe both of these are still in here. That seems crazy to me. Prey Upon the Iron Shell Beetle are both fine. Wall of Mist is playable. Radical Idea is good in Izzet, but the Inescapable Blaze is really nice. Grab that. Izzet Guildgate's pretty tempting. Izzet Locket is a little bit tempting. Crushing Canopy is fine if we end up in green anywhere. It's a fine sideboard card too, even with splashing. My deck is all over the fucking place. It's just back and forth between two different color pairs. It's not ever where I want to be. Probably the Izzet Guildgate, honestly. The Locket would be something too, but I think I'm on the Guildgate plan. Okay. Radical Idea, yes. Golgari Guildgate's in there though. Although that doesn't help me if I'm playing green reds or playing, well, I mean, maybe it does. Like, we can't play Izzet and splash for status, right? Like, it doesn't work. Is it the Guildgate? Are we gonna play some like multicolored abomination deck? Might. I want the Radical Idea. One, two, three, four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 playables right now. It's pretty painful. That brings me up to 11 playables. I will absolutely play this. Think run the good stuff plan. Could do. If we make a fun draft, let's do it. All right, we'll go to the good stuff plan. All right, Prey Upon, decent. Not a lot of creatures though for us. Garrison Sergeant, we're not planning on splashing white yet, but he'd take advantage of all of our gates. Crushing Canopy is a decent anti-air sideboard card. Punch as a win condition. We have Blaze. Blaze and Punch in the same deck is sometimes amusing. And then Invert and Vent for the massive value of bringing... do we have any sorceries to our hand right now? I don't think we have any sorceries yet. We have no sorceries. We could bring Sprouting Renewal to our hand. So I think I'm on the Crushing Canopy plan. I don't really want to play, but I could be on the punch plan too. I don't have a lot of creatures to punch them with, but could be amusing. Any Dominaria drafts today? I'll probably do one. The punish, the punish. All right, I don't want to play Invert Invent. I'm not sure we're in green yet. I'm on the punch plan. All right, punch again, immediately punish. Circuitous Route for mana fixing seems like a much more interesting card than it did before. We'll grab that. Sonic Assault number 2 or Dissident. I want to be splashing green, probably. Maybe I'm maining green. Sonic Assault number 2 with, I mean, we're starting to build a little bit of a game plan here with Sonic Assaults, punches, and inescapable blazes. I think I'm on the Sonic Assault plan again. All right, there is a Grappling Sundew or an Urban Utopia. More mana fixing seems just fine. Urban Stray versus Hitchclaw. I don't want either of these at all. We're so far away from Stray being good, but Hitchclaw Recluse is just such a bad card in general. Don't want either of these cards. Don't think it matters. Maniacal Rage. All right, so we need to get playables out of here. Back on the black plan. Look at that. Price of Fame. So now our removal's in black. Our color fixing's in green. Our removal's in black. And our playables are in red and blue. There's a Hypothesis, super good for our deck. Okay, this is actually a real decision. And the real decision is a little bit different than we might otherwise think. It basically is how many playables do we have? So we could run, is it splashing black for removal? Which seems like it'd be fine, like just looking at Grixis. Playable count right now is 13. It's pretty low. So we're probably going to end up having to splash anyways. The strongest card here is Price of Fame. I think that's good enough to pick over Hypothesis, even though I really like Hypothesis. Alright. Are we Grixis enough for a Disinformation Campaign? Grixis enough for a Deadly Visit? Grixis enough for a Capture Sphere? We're definitely on one of those. We have four sources of Surveil already. I think I might be on the Deadly Visit plan here. Although double black is very, very difficult to splash. So maybe it's just Capture Sphere is the safest pick here. This is only pick 2. This is fine. The bot's passing Disinformation Campaign pick 1 is pretty reasonable. No, I love Hypothesis of Pokerface. I'm solidly on the love the card plan. Always campaign? I don't think so. Yeah, been a back and forth chat here, hasn't it? I think I'm on Capture Sphere. I much prefer Deadly Visit to Capture Sphere, but I think removal in our colors with a 1 mana cost is a little bit safer. Lava Coil is a nice reward. Another piece of removal in our colors. Seems good. That's my 2-drop pile? Then what? Okay, fine. Wish it would just match. Alright, Banneret versus Nightvale Sprite. Both decent for us. Dimir Guildgate, decent for us too. Probably on the Banneret plan. We do need to do some early damage. I like Nightvale Sprite, but I don't love it in Izzet decks, especially when I'm trying to kill them with Gravitic Punch and Inescapable Blaze. So I think I'm on the Banneret plan here. Okay, League Guildmage number 2 or Smeltward Minotaur. Both are really good for this deck. Which is better? That's fairly tough. I want them both. We do have a number of spells. We're going to get value out of the Smeltward Minotaur. The Elite Guildmage is just really good. I think I'm on the Guildmage plan. It's close, though. Alright, Hypothesisal versus Whisper Agent. Definitely on the Hypothesisal plan. Beam Splitter Mage versus Sure Strike number 2. What are we at playables right now? 22 minus 3, we're at 19. I don't love a Beam Splitter Mage. I only have one card we can duplicate, but it is another 2-drop. We do need 2 drops. Maybe a Sure Strike's a little bit better. We have 2 drops and 3 drops that I can attack with. I think I'm on the Sure Strike over Beam Splitter. We only had the 1 combat trick. The Beam Splitter loses value with one combat trick. Why do you think Beam Splitter is really good here? Why does chat like Beam Splitter here? Splitter duplicate punch? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. This is the biggest meme in fucking MTG Arena right now. Splitter does not duplicate punch. Chat. All right. So we're on the Sure Strike plan. All right, maximize altitude. Pretty far away from green right now, although District Guide would let us. We have like 3 color fixtures in green. We have Urban Utopia times 2, Circuitous Route, and the District Guide. I don't think the payoff's good enough right now. The payoff is, and Golgari Guildgate. I think the payoff is literally Affectionate Indrik, which I don't think is good enough, and Status Statue. But we're going to go like 4 color for that? I don't think so. I think we're on the maximize altitude plan. Why doesn't Beam Splitter work with Punch? Because it targets 2 targets. This is a red 2-drop, but we're pretty full in 2-drops. Creature count is currently at 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8. 8 creatures is crazy low. I want the Guildgate though. Five, 6, 7, 8. 8 creatures. No. Fuck. I think I'm on the Guildgate plan. Yeah, this has been a very hard draft. Alright, fine. We'll take the Fresh Face Recruit. Thought Erasure. Child of Night. Locksmith. Another shitty 2-drop. Vigor Spore Worm and Splash Green after all. Get in the Indrik plus the Vigor Spore Worm. And the Might of the Status Statue. Should have taken the other dude. Well, I think it's Locksmith unless we go that route. I think it's a little bit late to be really doing that. More cards of weird colors. That never happened, probably. Like Game Worm plus Punch would be the dream, sure. Barging Sergeant and a Cosmotronic Wave are both where we want to be. I think we're on the Sergeant plan. We need the creature count. Bats are like actually something we might consider playing. Punch number 2. All in aggro with punches. Could be fun. Card counts at 20. We're over playables, boys. We made it. We're at 24 playables. So we can cut something now for the creatures. Get under our creature limit. Why do I hate never happened? It's one of those cards that if you top deck it, it's not always that good. Top deck at mid game, you're like, oh, my opponent has no cards, or played all the good cards, and it's super anti-tempo at 3 mana. Well, I mean, we don't even have to splash black right now. We're just splashing for Deadweight and Price of Fame. Both very good, but oops. I mean, if we're just trying to sneak in damage and kill them quickly, having a bunch of 2-drops and then some punches is okay. It's not a terribly exciting card to do, but it's just like 3 to the face for 4 mana. What's bad about that? Oh, man. There's no way we're in green, right? There's no way we're doing it. No way. Nope, we're not in fucking green. So we'll take the punch and hope not to play it. And a punch again! Alright, the deck's fine. We'll just run 3 Gravetic Punches main board. Should be fine. Alright, chat, I'm going to take a quick break, eat my food, and then we're going to make this deck magic. Make this happen. We'll see you in a second. Tough draft, tough draft. All right, we got a lot of options here. So let's try just the good stuff variant of this, right? Like, what does it look like with the good stuff in? Not a whole lot different than what we have right now. I don't really see how we're getting green mana reliably. I mean, Indrik's very late, and status is basically black mana anyways. Could remove something like Maximize Altitude and maybe Gravitic Punch and just force some green mana into this deck with some black mana.
Fresh from the stagecoach.
Certainly would be an issue. Thank you, Hell Reaper. Welcome to the channel. Fitting name today. And maybe like the Locksmith out or something. Brings it up to 12 creatures. That's exciting. But it doesn't feel much better than what we just had. It feels a little bit worse. I feel like what this deck actually wants to do is draw 2 drops reliably and then sneak in damage repeatedly through like Sonic Assault, etc., and then kill them with Blaze or Punch. To do that, I think cards like Maximize Altitude are pretty good. So this would be like the good stuff, but it's not good enough, I don't think. The other variant is a little bit more like black cards. Something like this plus like a Maximize Altitude. The goal just trying to be force damage in with the bats. It's a little bit more creature count. We lost the, I said 11 creatures. We end up with the bats and the deadweight and the Price of Fame. We could pull black out entirely, which looks like that's all of our black. I don't really want to run a Torch Courier, so it's Locksmith, Maniacal Rage maybe, something like that. Running like 1 to 2 punches. That can potentially steal games. I know, Vips do, I know. No costume. I'm wearing a white t-shirt. That seems like it should be worth something. And then, so it would be without the black cards, clearly. Our mana base would be the soundest with this. It would be like that. Wouldn't have to run Guildgate. Wouldn't have to run Dimir Guildgate. Wouldn't have to run Gateway Plaza. And it would be this deck. This is okay. Early game creatures. No mid-game creatures, though. So it's going to be very awkward trying to get in damage. Watcher's a bit slow for this, too. And then the third deck we're looking at, or the fourth deck, I guess. So the good stuff deck was kind of shit. The black mix was all right. The pure Izzet deck was a little bit low power. So the other variant is pull the Gravitic Punches, throw the Price of Fame in, and run, what is it, 1 Gravitic Punch in the Price of Fame, I think. So we're splashing basically for 1 black card. That's Price of Fame as targeted removal. We end up throwing a Dimir Guildgate in there, as well as a, probably a Gateway Plaza. Or though maybe a Swamp would be fine, and do something like that. So all of those are potential options for this deck. We're a little bit light on creatures, but our creatures are all early game creatures, so stealing damage in there is fine. And then our late game plan is Punch, Blaze, Barging Sergeant, Maximize Altitude, stealing damage kind of plays. Deck's not going to do great, but it might be something we can do. I think when I look at these, the bats and, I don't know, like bats is, I need like more black sources. If I'm going to run Price of Fame and Deadweight, which are good cards, and bats, which is not a great card, but will steal some damage versus him. That deck is not massively exciting, but it's a little bit exciting. I don't know. What do you guys think, chat? I'll put this one to vote. I'll play either of them. We can start one way and go a different way too. So, all right. I'll at least see what you guys have to say. Yeah, the removal will be nice. And Punch is not a very good source of killing people. Especially when we have no creatures over 4 power and only 1 creature with 4 power and a low creature count in general. Game 2 can be a totally different deck. Oh, meanwhile, got a sweet, sweet release here. All right. So we need a command here. And I need to open up this, let you guys vote for a second. Just multitasking here for a moment. Need to fire up this. Okay. All right. What do you guys got for me? 3 black cards, very close, right? 3 black cards to no black cards. All right, so you guys don't like the single splash. I think 3 is fine. We'll take it that way. We're gonna have to add 1 more source. And the downside of 3 black cards, and I'm not even sure I want to do this. So Price of Fame, if I draw black source a little bit later, is fine. The problem is if I don't draw early red blue mana, I can't play my Electromancers and Guild Mages on curve. Am I just gonna ignore chat and go for this with the Gravitic Punch? It's 41. So we're Locksmith out or Punch out. Locksmith pretty shit. Do have a lot of first striking abilities. Maybe we do something like that. Chat. Also, new video if you guys want to know how to draft. Currently, you could watch this video. Oh, MTG bot's still in there. We need to remove that. Hold on a second. And can I get a mod to find the URL shortener for that, please? Okay. All right. I don't really want to run more black cards in this deck. I want to have consistent early game because I think the way we win is early game consistent damage and steal it from somewhere with Blaze from downtown perhaps, or maybe a flying creature, or maybe just lots of duplicated Sonic Assaults. All of those seem somewhat reasonable. Is Price of Fame strong enough to play in that deck? I'm going to try it with only 2 guild sources here. And then we still get to run these. So this is 17. This is 18 sources. What? Oh, I have 1 too many sources in here, so I get 1 more card back anyway. So I get to keep my punch. Nice. Okay. So this is 10 blue sources and 9 red sources. I think it needs to be the other way around. So this is now 9 blue sources and 10 red sources. That seems fine. 2 black sources is a little bit low for Price of Fame. but I can wait on that. I'm okay with that. I think if it was dead weight, I'd want at least 3 to 4. I think I can live with that. Okay. So this has been a tough deck to draft. Tough deck to draft and tough deck to craft. We're going to try to steal games with this. We can definitely draw hands empty of creatures, which would be really shitty. So I think this is going to be called the Game Thief. All right. Oops. Not like that. Like that. Okay. All right. We're splashing for a single black card. Seems no problem. Curve's crazy? It's not a curve. It's a spike. It's a spike. This is the spike of us inserting 2 drops into our opponent. I think we can do 3 with this. Maybe. If we're lucky. We might have to bring in more gravitic punches. We'll see. All right. Let's get some wins. Game 1. Let's do it, chat. I believe.